You know, one of the first things that I see when I walk into the Seattle Kraken locker room are the words accountability and discipline. Maybe the players enter a different way, or at least they did tonight.
You are Locked On Kraken, your daily podcast on the Seattle Kraken, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Oh, Seattle hockey fans, welcome to another episode of Locked On Kraken, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We bring you your favorite team, even when it's painful, the Seattle Kraken every single day. My name is Erica Ayala. I am your host of Locked On Kraken, an accredited media member for Milano Cortina 2026 Olympics. And if we were looking for any Olympic inspiration tonight at Climate Pledge Arena, it didn't come from the Seattle Kraken, but we'll get into that. I'm here. They're cleaning the ice now. This is the last game of a nice homestand here for the Seattle Kraken. They'll have a few games on the road before coming back mid-November. But I want to let you know today's episode of Locked On Kraken brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. All right, not pretty. 6-1 loss here to the San Jose. Come on. I talked about this on the last episode. I don't want to lose to the Sharks for so many reasons. I uploaded my post-game video, and immediately I met with this team tank defenses for nerds narrative that I cannot stand. I absolutely cannot stand it. And I had to endure because the Seattle Kraken decided that all of the things that I talked about on the last episode, being disciplined, getting their defense together, playing as a team, playing coordinated, getting contributions from throughout the lineup, having a sharp goaltender. They did none of those things. Not a one. And another thing, I don't have this on the rundown. The first bullet point for those watching on YouTube, if you are one of our audio listeners, thank you so much. Also, I have a little note for ad-free listeners that I'll get to in just a minute. My first bullet point on the side slide, woof. WOOF exclamation point. Then we got to talk about Ryan Winterton. A milestone for him. So for those who need something positive, there you go. It will not be a long segment, but there you go. And then I want you to hear Ryan Winterton spoke. I just missed him recording some stuff up here where I am now. We also heard from Josh Mahura, who saved this could have been worse, if you can even believe it. He saved a goal off the line. We'll talk about that. But Lambert, to me, I mean, he said what needed to be said. It's pretty straightforward. I can summarize, but I'll also let you hear what he had to say. And that's what we have for today's episode. Not good enough. Not even remotely good enough. And again, when you walk around the Seattle Kraken locker room, we come in just the entrance the guys would come when they're or use when they're coming on and off the ice. The two words that you see, accountability, discipline. None of that today. Team together, accountability, discipline. None of that. And you know what? This is going to happen throughout the course of an NHL season, any sports season in life. So, I don't want to oversell the disappointment. It's November 5th, November 6th for some of you, depending where you are in the world, in the country. I don't want to oversell it. And I've been your host of Locked On Kraken since the inaugural season. I've seen this happen and then us not get out of the rut. Basically, all of last year was woof. bark, gnarly, Kraken crap. Doesn't feel good, doesn't look good. Joey Decord got run out of net. And I want to stay there. There are a lot of things that I like, that I see as improvements when it comes to the Lane Lambert era. I had a lot of concerns because there's a lot that this organization needed to do, and it felt almost unfair to put all of that responsibility on Lambert and his coaching staff. Overwhelmingly, early returns. It's only November, but I think they've met the brief. I think that's more of a UK saying? I like it. They met the brief. They're hitting the mark. They're on track. Overwhelmingly, that's my assessment so far, with the exception of one thing. And if you're an everydayer, if you're an OGer, if you listen to the show multiple times, we are on Monday through Friday. Sometimes I even give you bonus episodes. Then for years, since the inaugural season, I have been disappointed with how this organization runs their healthy goalie into the ground. We saw it with Philip Grubauer. Thank goodness for Martin Jones in season 2. And we saw it again with Grubauer, Chris Drieger. It was never healthy with us. And we're seeing it with Joey Decord. Now, the fatigue for me, as far as I know, but I will do some sleuthing while I'm here in Seattle, it's not anything physical. But if I'm, my eye test told me while I was watching this game that Joey could have had, I don't know, if I'm being conservative, 1 or 2 of those. Probably the first 2 in particular. I'm getting the sniffles a little bit, so apologies, especially for those of you on audio. It's not the most pleasant sound. First 2 goals on the first goal on the first shift. My goodness. Blocker side. But giveaways. Speaking of, when I looked in the third period, giveaways, 11, and I wrote "and counting" for the Seattle Kraken, because it just seemed inevitable that there would be more. That's how brutal this game was. Not pretty, not sexy, not indicative of what this team has been doing for the last handful of games. Let's see. Final giveaways: 13 for Seattle, 11 for San Jose. But, at least in basketball, you could say, how many of those do you convert to points? Well, I mean, the Sharks had 6 goals and the Kraken had 1. So, I mean, there you go. The third goal for San Jose, of course, because we only scored the 1, looked like maybe there was a screen. But the fourth goal against Joey Decord, because he did get pulled in this game, was also blocker side. There was traffic, and it might have bounced off some bodies. At least that's, I looked at the replay. The San Jose broadcast was the replay there, and they seem to think it bounced off some bodies. So maybe I say, all right, what can you do there? I'm throwing my papers. I'm so upset here. And I'm so interested. I'm very keen to know. Put it in the comments for me. My everydayers, you have to know where I'm going with this. The shorthanded goal. Put it in the comments right now. You have to know where I'm going with this. If you're driving or something, please be safe. But say it out loud. Say it out loud. Because if you watched this game, then you know, and you listen. And if you watch this game and you listen to Locked on Kraken, and you know what burns my grits, as I say, then you know where I'm going. The shorthanded goal. First of all, breakaway goal. They had 2 consecutive. We'll get into that in a minute. It wasn't the breakaway. It wasn't the giveaway. It wasn't, and Joey made the first save, but it's the trail. Go and watch that shorthanded goal. Who scored the shorthand? I don't even. Oh, Delandria. Go watch that shorthanded goal, and you tell me what Chandler Stephenson was doing. I would like to know. Not aggressively skating on a back check, not going body to body, not going stick to stick, observing, just like me in the on the press row, watching. Shorthanded goal on the second attempt because Joey Decord made the first save. And that would be the last goal against for Joey. He gets pulled. Murray in net. I need a minute. I got to calm myself down. I'm very worked up right now, and I'm trying not to, there's other people recording and doing things up here, but oh my goodness. Overworking our goalie. You have 3 goalies. You intentionally carried 3 goalies. When are we going to see, what was the term we were hearing in the first 4 seasons? The equitable split. When is that going to happen? Where's Phillip? What's he got going on? And again, as far as I know, Joey Decord is healthy. Joey Decord is our number 1 goaltender. But the fact that you have 3 goaltenders and apparently nobody else can be trusted until the game's already we're in a hole, 5-1 hole. I don't understand. But Chandler, you can't do that, my guy. I'm picking on Chandler because it was him on the sauntering, maybe I'll skate a little, catch a breeze if I'm lucky, if I move fast enough. I don't even know. I don't even know if his hair was moving. You can't do that, man. It does not say team to me. It does not say together to me. It does not say discipline to me, and it sure does not say accountability. That's the one that burns my grits. Do I think Joey could have saved a couple? Yes. Do I think that a screen here, a knock around there? Okay, what are you going to do? Hockey. But a shorthanded goal where Joey saves the first attempt and the second attempt gets knocked in because the back checker wasn't in good. I cannot abide. I hope that the team is at least as upset by that, not necessarily with Chandler, but just that happened. That cannot happen with this team. That cannot happen with this team. We're not good enough to leisurely skate at a glacial pace when the other team is going towards our goaltender on a breakaway. We cannot afford to play that style of hockey. Bust your lungs open. Use your knees. Get to the spot. Let's talk about Ryan Winterton, because if I stay here, I'm going to be mad. I've got an early morning. We're going to get the name of the PWHL Seattle team that's already been leaked tomorrow, bright and early. So, I got to wrap this up. I can't stay mad. So we're going to talk about Ryan Winterton coming up on this episode of Locked On Kraken. Oh my goodness. Oh, my blood pressure. All right. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna get it together. Here we go. Oh, whew. All right. Deep breaths. Today's episode of Locked on Kraken. Oh, geez. Today's episode of Locked on Kraken is brought to you. I can't even get to the overlay. I don't know what's happening. I'm sorry to Rougiette, but today's episode of Locked on Kraken brought to you by Rougiette. Let's be real. Making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress. I'm tired. Or it happens to everyone sometimes. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support. This ad is talking about something completely different than my emphasis is, just for the record. Anyway, Rougiette offers fast-acting doctor-prescribed treatments for ED, designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Rougiette makes it Rougiette makes it so easy to get started with them. You just connect with a board certified doctor, 100% online, no awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments. If prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly straight to your door. It's about confidence, connection, and getting back to the moments that matter. Visit rugiet.com/LockedOnNHL to get 15% off your first order. That's RUGIET. That's rugiet.com/LockedOnNHL. And don't forget to use our code LockedOnNHL so they know we sent you. Rougiette, stop making excuses and start making moves. I honestly, like, this whole screen is frozen, so I don't even know. All right, we're back here, Locked on Kraken. I am recording this as they are setting up. I believe there's a comedy show coming into Climate Pledge Arena while the Kraken are on the road for, I think it's technically 3 games. I'll take a look. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Ryan Winterton, I saw a lot of hustle. Listen, I know not every one of our everydayers or commenters specifically on YouTube likes Ryan Winterton. I don't know. Of all the egregious, of all of the egregious things from a team that's been performing relatively well, sustainability, the question mark, but has been performing well, Ryan Winterton is not the problem for me. Goaltending, lack of defensive effort, 50-50 puck battles, those things have been a little bit more worrisome for me, but not Ryan Winterton. And Ryan Winterton gets a goal. His first, I believe, right, with the Seattle Kraken. Not his first point, but his first goal. And it came from having some tenacity. He had a breakaway early in this game, was not able to convert, sticks with the play, and then finds the puck and is able to get the lone goal in this game. Let's hear, we're going to hear some other notes and quotes, mostly from Lambert, coming up on this show. But let's hear from Ryan Winterton, the goal scorer, after this really tough loss.
Ryan, not the score you wanted tonight for the team, but it's got to feel good to get the first one.
Yeah, it always feels good. Kind of like you said, not the way we wanted to, to play out, unfortunately. But, I guess we'll try and take the positives and, have a short-term memory.
Well, I know you are an even-keel guy, but you looked a little excited when that puck went in.
Yeah, it was a long time coming, so, yeah, it felt good, and, glad it's out of the way.
You've had some good chances here recently, not quite find a way. You get the breakaway, and he stops that one to have it kind of fall back to your stick in that whole sequence.
Yeah.
So kind of nice to see maybe a little luck on that front go your way.
Absolutely. Like I said, it feels good to get the one out of the way and kind of, get the monkey off my back. And, like you said, a long time coming, and just happy one in finally.
It seems like you've been playing pretty well here for a while now. Did you feel like it was going to be coming here eventually with the way you're kind of going at the moment?
Yeah, I just try to keep a good mindset. I mean, that's all you can really do in the situation I was in. But yeah, I kind of had the same feeling. I felt like it was coming, and just do what got me there. And, I knew it was eventually going to go in.
Where's that puck going to go?
I don't know. Send it home to my parents or something. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know yet. No plans yet.
So what were you hearing from the coaches? Because obviously you've been playing and made the team out of camp. So what were they talking to you at all about not worrying about the goal scoring and it'll come?
Honestly, no. I mean, there's guys on the team who tell me that, and you know, some coaches will come up to you and just say it's coming, stay with it, and you know, in my mindset, I knew it was coming too. So you know, not to get over frustrated or anything, but just keep even keel and just kind of knew eventually it had to go in. Thanks, guys.
So, you know, again, some reprieve from me just going absolutely bonkers about this game. Did not like this game. Wasn't much to like from this game other than Ryan Winterton and, you know, Josh Mahura as well. Again, saved a goal off the line. Let's hear from Mahura and Lane Lambert on the other side. And I do think I got my overlays working, so we'll get into that. I don't know what was happening earlier. We'll get into that coming up on today's episode of Locked on Kraken. And nope, they're not working again. Coming up on Locked on Kraken. Today's episode, as I mentioned at the top of the show, brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of a game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the National Basketball Association. All right, Seattle hockey fans, I'm here in Climate Pledge Arena. They're changing things over. The ice is being covered now. And, you know, maybe this is a good wipe the slate clean. The Seattle Kraken will, this is the schedule. Love how it looks. Not the most practical thing to read, but don't worry. For those who cannot see this, and of course for my audio listeners, I will read this to you. The Seattle Kraken. It is a couple of games. All right, so it's St. Louis in a couple of days, then Dallas, and then they come back a couple of games at home, or 3 games, including San Jose again, Columbus, Winnipeg, San Jose, then 4 on the road before they are hosting Dallas and Edmonton to end November. I know I said I wanted to talk to my audio listeners just for a moment. We've been doing ad-free. That has been suspended for the month of November, but we'll pick back up in December. So if you're one of our ad-free listeners, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. LockedOnKraken@gmail.com is probably the best. I will tell you right now, I'm not great at reading DMs. Sometimes the DMs are not where you want to be. As a woman in sports, I'll just leave that there. Anyway, email is great if you have questions, but we are going to have our own ad-free service. It will be a membership of sorts. It will come with all kinds of perks, bells, whistles. We're going to incorporate some of our women's hockey coverage into that, but we're talking exclusive interviews. We're talking newsletter style breakdown. Some of you know I'm a long form writer at heart, so we're going to incorporate more of that into this membership. And it's not just if you want the ad-free episodes, but that will be one of the perks. But it's for a lot of other things as well. But again, we'll talk about that in December next month. The Seattle Kraken, again, I mean, this wasn't great. It wasn't a great game. But I think Lane Lambert, he really didn't need to say much after this game. I think it was pretty self-explanatory, but I want you to hear what Lambert had to say, and more so because I want to keep up with how the Kraken move on from this game. That is the key part here. It's an early game. You're not going to win them all, and sometimes you're going to get embarrassed. It happens in sports. What are you going to do? My big question mark is this something that the Kraken can quell? Can they control it? Can they get back on track? Or is this something that rolls into the next game and the next game and the next game? We've seen both versions of the Kraken historically, but what will the Lane Lambert era bring us? But anyway, here's Lane. Just a few quotes. Again, what is there to say Everyone knows that this was not a great game, but let's see what we can tease out from his comments post game.
Coach, you guys have played some really, really solid hockey lately, but what did you see as the difference in your team's game tonight?
Disconnected in a bunch of different areas. The first goal of the game, we turned the puck over on the wall early on. We're not in position to, help with that. Our structure wasn't good enough tonight. And when you give up a goal the first shift of the game, you give up a goal right at the end of the first period after I thought we had battled back and, tied the score and had some good opportunities in the first period. Those are killers, and we just weren't good enough tonight, period.
What did you feel like made it challenging to get to that structure? Obviously, the Sharks want to play more of a free, fast kind of game. Jordan Eberle told you more like a track meet. Was there something that you were seeing that they were doing that made it hard for the group to get there?
No, they give them credit. They played well. So I'm not going to take that away from them at all. But I didn't like our game. I didn't like the way we played. I thought we were too loose, and we did not play to our identity tonight.
Lane, you mentioned a power play. You had 6 chances there tonight and didn't get one. What would you see on the special teams tonight?
Yeah, I thought, from a power play standpoint, I didn't think, at least the first 3 of them, we didn't shoot the puck enough. Our execution was off a little bit, and, we started shooting towards the end and, mustered up a few shots there, but it was too slow, just like the rest of our game.
And speaking to, there was a number of chances the Sharks had kind of in transition. I know you're kind of speaking to it here, like the turnover at the blue line goes the other way and those sorts of things. To not have those be as clean as you want, what do you kind of make of it as a whole from the effort tonight?
Focus. We saw what happens when we're loose with the puck, and they're a young team. As I said before the game, they were like 14th in the league in goals for per game, and they ended up. You saw some of the transition plays they made, and they ended up in the back of our net, and they could have had a couple more as well. So, we have to understand that we're not going to pass our way into the net, and we've got to play the game a certain way in order to give ourselves a chance to win. We did not do that tonight.
I don't really have to say much else. Lane took care of that. 0 for 6 on the power play is brutal. And I talked about it on yesterday's episode. I think technically for some people it rolled over to Wednesday morning, but this team was playing against San Jose. And I talked about goals for, goals against. Not a team, San Jose, that likes to play defense. According to our Locked On host, defense is for nerds. Well, I have so many thoughts and yet none at the same time. Not a great game. You got to flush it. The team will practice tomorrow. Then they will hit the road for, what did I say? St. Louis, right? Got to flush it. I don't want to see this again. And that's the big thing. So what is practice going to look like? Tomorrow's a very busy day. We've got the PWHL announcement, which we already know what it's going to be. I talked about that on yesterday's episode. I will be with Ava Wood tomorrow. So make sure you follow along at Locked On Kraken in bright and early here in the Pacific Northwest. So we'll have the announcement. Ooh, we're going to talk about the name. We're going to talk about the logo. Ooh, we got to talk about the logo. We're going to have some live streaming happening between 365 Hockey Girl and Locked On Kraken. We can't live stream everything, but we will have some things. Live streams will get our instant reactions, things of that nature. And, we'll talk about it, Ava and I, on social media. So make sure you're following Locked On Kraken. Follow at 365 Hockey Girl. I'm excited for the opportunity to be here with Ava, who's been a virtual contributor. She and I have been able to link up while I've been in Seattle, but a lot of the work that we do is we're in different places, but we're going to be working side by side tomorrow. So that's going to be exciting. All right. I gotta let this go too, right? This is one game, but that's the thing. It has to be few and far between. The Kraken might get blown out again. I mean, I wish I could say that's not going to happen, but it's a long season. It's a condensed schedule. We only are playing one goaltender out of 3. You think? Can you tell I'm a little? I'm a little agitated by that, but we have to get back to what are the words again that are in the locker room? Team, together, accountability, and discipline. It's the only way this blue collar lunch pail Kraken team has any hope of winning games this season. And we know the reasons why. There's some great comments. I'm so obsessed with the comments overwhelmingly, most of the comments, but I'm going to get to the comments that we got from the last episode on tomorrow, Thursday's episode, Thursday or Friday, because just some really great things. We have to talk about why this is a lunch pail team still in season 5, why this is a blue collar team. And will that ever change? I don't think the answer is Team Tank. Some of you do. I'm not one of them. But something's got to give. As was that Leanne Rimes, right? That's a Leanne Rimes song. Something's got to give. So hopefully this very bad, embarrassing loss sent the right message. The captains, the coaches said what they needed to say, and this Kraken team will be a focused, disciplined, accountable, together team tomorrow. How's that for alliteration? A reminder to be kind to yourself. Be kind to your favorite hockey team. I know I'm going in a little bit here, but I'm saying facts. We know this wasn't a great game. There's no sugarcoating it. Wasn't a great game. How do we move on? Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others, including your favorite hockey team. Let's hold fast. Let's stay true. Oh, we didn't hear from Josh Mahura. I'm sorry. We'll hear from Josh Mahura later in the week. Hold fast, stay true, and loud and proud we say, let's go Kraken. I still believe in you, but I want you to be better. I'll catch you on the next episode. Peace out, everybody. Don't forget to follow us, Locked on Kraken. PWHL Seattle announcement, officially name and logo, happening tomorrow. Follow us at Locked on Kraken. Until then, peace out, everybody.